It didn't take long in the life of Zolder for chicanes to appear in order to slow the cars down through some of the more dangerous turns. Here in the world of sim racing, there's no risk of life and limb. As such, plopping the Rallycross cars down and removing the cut course penalties suddenly picks up the pace. We'll see who can manage this now frantically fast circuit as we get ready to watch For Drink Friday, and you'll see it all live here on the Global SimRacing Channel. Hi, I'm Joe Peak, and with me in the booth is DJ Clark. Behind the scenes is our director, Sean Crackers Ambrose, and he's using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Zolder is a track with a lot of history. Let's head to our track guide to learn more about it. Welcome to Spa-Francorchamps. Less than an hour's drive east from the German border, this Belgian track has come to define racing for many different eras in the sport. It's no wonder it continues to entrance drivers when you look at the stats. The 7 kilometers over. Welcome to Zolder, a temporary home for the Belgian Grand Prix in the 70s and 80s. In present day, it's mainly used for GT and lower-level formula racing. The track sits in the northeast corner of the country near Hasselt, nestled right up against the Albert Canal. The two raceable layouts are essentially the same, save for the tightness of the Jackie Ick chicane. Both are just under 2.5 miles and have 10 turns. While the track had some sadly infamous moments for Formula One, it remains a popular venue. Its most notable feature is the plethora of chicanes that scatter the lap. The slowdown penalties drivers receive for cutting the course at them can tend to be race-defining. But more worrisome are the monstrously large curbs parked at the apexes that have been known to tear apart wings and suspensions. Passing tends to be difficult, with only 2 spots offering out braking zones that aren't into chicanes. The Boulderberg hairpin is the easier of the two, while Erst is a medium-speed, downhill, off-camber 90-degree turn. To say it proves troublesome to get right, even when not in a battle, is an understatement. While the lap opens up with many of those swift, wide-radius corners, the rest of the turns are almost all hard braking zones. High-powered cars with little downforce do need to be careful between the Kleine Chicane and Butte, because there's a large crest that can catch you out. Winning here will require precision and patience. Belgian fans may have the more famous Spa to choose from, but you can't go wrong with the consistently good action this track puts forward. Well, we've seen Zolder on this channel plenty of times, but this might be the most unique combination we've ever seen, DJ, just due to the nature of the rules they've implemented today.
100%, Joe. It is going to be an absolute treat to watch these little Rallycross cars make their way around the famed twisting circuit of Zolder. Now, during qualifying where they are right now, they're going to have to adhere to track limits to get a time down. But once we get to the race, those track limits are out the window. And so what that's going to do is those curves, those chicanes that you talked about trying to slow the cars down, and those are going to be pretty flat out. You're going to be flying straight through them. What it's actually going to do is we've seen a couple of points where you're going to get a little air over them as they sort of jump over the sausage curbs that exist, put a little bit of air into it. And then also really in the first part of this track, it's almost handbrake city, let's call it. The first, second, third corners, you can really drift and slide the cars through there and have a whole lot of fun with them. The other thing that is going to be very, very interesting, and we'll get into this later, is that basically based off of the fuel tank numbers we've been running, these cars can only do 7 laps before they have to come in. So pit and drink strategy really going to come into play tonight.
And they might actually go hand in hand. We'll talk about that in a bit, as that's one of the rules that has been changed. And why don't we actually go over the race details? Let's first go over our sponsors, I should say. Starting, of course, with Sunset Mortgage. Don't put your money in the bank, be the bank. Check them out today at sunsetcash.net. And then Octavio Tequila. Celebrate now. For a great tasting tequila, go to octaviotequila.com and purchase today. And then finally, Century Financial Consultants, making the rest of your life the best of your life. You can check out their website at centuryretire.com. Now, as we mentioned, race details for this event. The iRacing Rallycross cars, I believe they are all in the Volkswagen Beetle, which makes sense since that is the free car of them. It is a 40-minute race. Now, in those 40 minutes, they must drink 4 12-ounce alcoholic beverages. The deal with that is, well, you can drink, of course, some higher alcohol content than your typical beer, but you still have to drink enough that would equal 12 ounces in weight in water. They have fixed setups on the car, so they don't have to worry about trying to get those up and working. Now, normally, they are required to stop on the track and take those drinks, but today they are allowed to drink in the pit stops because there are simply so many pits that these drivers will have to take. And then if you see a driver that we refer to as a designated driver, they do not have to drink alcohol, but they will have to take extra pit stops, at least one more stop than everybody else throughout the race to make it even. Looking at Michael Ost, who is our provisional pole sitter, who apparently abandons that lap. Everybody spent so long, I think, trying to practice the laps without the chicanes in, DJ, that I'm seeing a number of them struggle to clean one in right now.
I am too, Joe. I was watching a lot of the guys who were setting fast times in practice, really struggling to get it right in these rallycross cars. And remember, these are cars that are meant for going on the dirt and the pavement, so just straight pavement running a little bit difficult for them. There you can see Jeffrey Schulem really having to work to get that car slowed down into that final chicane, almost getting it completely sideways. But he's going to come across the line here. Let's see if this was a clean lap for Jeffrey.
Nope, it was not, unfortunately. Himself, Fulton, Edwards, and Ron Walker are still looking for a clean lap, unfortunately. Looks like Fulton just managed to snatch one in recently. Unfortunately, he actually just got a bit of a bump as Ron gave him a shove, so that lap's not going to count that he's on currently. And Ron as well off the track, just trying to hurry back to the line. It does take a little bit to get around here, a little over a minute and a half to get a clean one without going off the track. So with 6.5 minutes left to go, they can't waste too much time.
No, they really cannot. But we have seen time and time again in this series that qualifying isn't necessarily the silver bullet here. What's really more important is just thinking out your strategy as much as possible. Here comes Matthew Hollander coming to the line right now. He currently sits third. If this lap is going to stick, and it does, that's going to bump him up to second.
Now, can we go back in time about 40 seconds on Ron in the number 10? Normally, we don't highlight glitches here, but this one is so bizarre. I would love to see if we can get a replay on the 10 coming through the final chicane. Yeah, here we go. You're going to see a rubber band effect. I've never seen the barriers do this to a car. This is just completely unusual looking. Oh, that angle really doesn't show it well. If we do it from above, that might show it very well. Here we go. DJ, have you ever seen the sim do this to somebody before?
No, I have not. Not to that level, most certainly.
It just whips backwards. That is incredibly strange. Now, Ron's still got time to get through and try to get a clean lap in, so he's taken back out on track. Looks like I think Edwards finally got one in, so we just are waiting on Ron and Schulem, but Schulem has abandoned into the pits. Not sure. He doesn't look like he's heading on his way out to try and start another one. So let's take a look at Michael Johnson. He is going to be one of our DDs tonight. We're going to look at Fulton instead. That one's not going to count for him either. So another 5 minutes to come across the line, staying on the pavement. Rondeau that time by, also not counting. Hollander did not either. So all four of these drivers work their way around to give it another go. Here comes Ron one more time. Is this an outlap? This looks like an outlap for him, actually.
Yeah, I think it is. He's getting himself up to speed, but we're going to jump back here, I think, to AJ Lettieri here as he comes through the chicanes. You could really get a sense of just how much these cars do not want to take these corners as you would expect them to. They really want to let that tail slide out, drift through the corners, have some fun with it. Watch it here. The car almost completely trying to rotate around. You see the massive amount of compression in those front suspensions, just taking a massive load here, but Lettieri going to try to come across the line. If this is going to count, that's a good lap. It counts. He's up to 5th.
Nice jump up for him. Looks like it did not count for Fulton or Ost that time through. Who do we have next across the line here? This is Johnson and Naranjo. Johnson in the number 9, coming down to that last X chicane. Very slow now that they have to take it according to the rules, and slides it off the corner. Let's see what this one's going to be. It is a 1:33.7, which counts, but is not his quickest. Naranjo as well. Must have had an off track somewhere. Rondo, that one, I believe, did not count for him.
We jump back here to Ron coming around, trying to get that first clean lap on the board. He's going to go back into that heavy braking zone for that first corner. If you ever want to talk about the grip levels on cars and how to load the tires and that kind of thing, watching these cars brake like this, prime example right there, you can see just how much roll is coming into the front of that car. So Ron is going to cross the line with 38.456. That's going to put him on the board.
And that'll put him 10th of the drivers who have put laps in. Only 10 have managed a lap. So Schulem is the only one who can demote him at this point. And Schulem, again, is not out there, so don't believe. Yeah, okay, if he comes out right now, the 12 could set a lap. But again, he's been sitting in there for many minutes at this point. DJ Fulton, that's a quicker one, and back up to 5th place for the 277 in the very psychedelic car. Aaron Edwards in the number 7 car. That one didn't count for him. We go back to Johnson once again.
Yeah, Johnson breaking down again for that, cocking that left side tire there up into the air a little bit. You're going to see a lot of that tonight, a lot of lateral movement in these suspensions. Johnson going to come to the line with a 33.452. That is better. He's going to be 4th.
All right, great jump for him. Clifton, another one that will not count, sadly. I think up next is going to be Ron in the 10. Club West driver, swinging it around, trying to keep it on the pavement. It goes. It looked clean there. We haven't seen the rest of the lap, though.
I think he got a clean port through that corner just by the hair on his chinny chin. Now diving it through this last corner, trying to keep it nice and narrow during the race. These drivers are going to not do it. Ron's got some great car control, knowing where to put that car, but he's going to come to the line. This lap's going to be a little bit slower, though.
Not improving. Michael Ost, our pole sitter, is next. He's got a gap of about 0.2 of a second over anybody currently. As he comes down and crosses. That one will not count for him. Up next is Hollander. That lap also was an on lap. BJ Fulton, same problem. Looks like Aaron Edwards will be next. It'll count, but it's just a few tenths slower than his 1:36.3.
Here comes Adam Fulton to the line. Yeah, that's an out lap. He's currently working on a lap time of 4 minutes there, so that's not going to be a fast one for him. Mark Rondeau now coming to the line. He's currently 7th. He's going to pop into the pits, it looks like.
Johnson will keep going. He wants better than row 2. So let's see if he can do it. Down into the line. He'll get one more chance after this. And this 20-minute session, they'll be able to finish their hot laps. And that one will also not count for him. This brings us back to Ron one more time. And he will have enough time to try and finish this one, but it'll be his last go to try and get off the back row of the field. That will ruin it right there. And Ron is done for the day.
Well, and I have to say, while Ron may be starting off 10th, he is one I'm going to watch during the race because it looks like he absolutely knows how to drive that car to the umpteenth degree. Aaron Edwards there trying to big drift through those final corners. May have not caught it there. Flea and Fulton make a little bit of contact, though.
Ruins both their laps, so they're done now. Manuel Hernandez, a very late addition out here. Let's see if he is going to be managing to get a clean lap in, because he hasn't set any laps yet. As he comes down into the line, this might actually be an out lap for Hernandez, so I'm not sure if this one is going to count. This is Johnson in the meantime. Number 13 is out on track. So Hernandez crosses, and yep, he was on his out lap, so it's not going to count. Johnson also managed to have an off track somewhere along the line. Lettieri's off. That means everybody is done in our qualifying session. Okay, then. Let's take a look at our starting order for Four Drink Friday. Michael Ost will be on the pole with Matthew Hollander in second place. It's Clifton Naranjo starting third. Then it is Michael Johnson in P4 with BJ Fulton on the inside of row 3 and AJ Lettieri rounding out your first half of the field.
Mark Rondeau will be lining up to the inside of row 4, followed by Aaron Edwards in P8. Behind them will be Adam Fulton and Ron back in 10th place. And to round out the back of the field, it will be Jeffrey Shulam and Manuel Hernandez.
As the seconds tick down, and the drivers just have a little bit of fun at the very end to wrap things up. This is going to be, we anticipate, one of the more fun ones that we've watched on Four Drink Fridays. They always have some sort of zany combination, but just witnessing the cars whip around this place has been a joy, both on the practice and the qualifying. They now start to grid up, and the eternal question is, who is going to elect to start the race with their drink and not go off the line?
Well, Joe, I think it's going to change a little bit today because these guys are going to be able to take those drinks in the pit stops, and that to me seems like the absolute best time to do it. So I would not be surprised if you see a couple of guys opt to not stop here at the beginning and only take the drinks while they're coming through pit lane.
We'll watch and see if anybody takes your advice. It's a downhill start to a very tough off-camber left-hand corner. So will the drivers be able to manage that with fresh tires on the cars now? So the grip should be better, but that's going to continue to go away and go away all race long, which makes me wonder who potentially will try and pull a trick and maybe take tires during those pit stops. I have no idea how long tire changes take on these Rallycross cars. At this point, we're only waiting on Fulton, Johnson, Ost, and Shulam to get out on track. Looks like Ost is now out there on the second row of the grid. It is a decent day out here at 74 degrees Fahrenheit on the track surface, so at least it's somewhat cooler on those tires, which are certainly going to get burned up a lot with all the slipping and sliding that we expect the cars to do. Fulton's the last one, and then we go racing here today for the March edition of Four Drink Friday. As the clock ticks down, hopefully Fulton will take to the grid. He was about halfway up the field. He shouldn't want to give up that opportunity here today. We got 10 seconds left before he shows his face. There he goes. All right. Everybody going to take to the grid. So the engines now start to rev as the lights come up. And the green flags are out. Michael Ost looks pretty decent off the line, but the second phase of the start goes to Hollander, who's going to be able to get a nose ahead, and then Naranjo tries to stick his nose in. Bunch of bumping and banging behind them. Cars continuing on as they break down into the second corner. Oh, and it is just a mess as a bunch of them get turned around.
absolute pandemonium going into turn 2 there. Everybody just stacking up as they try to get the car sideways to drift through the corner, but everybody's starting to run there. Oh my goodness, we've got somebody flying in the background.
That looked like Fulton to me, facing the wrong way, and he gets it going. That means Ost is our leader, Hollander in second, Hernandez in third, and Lethierry in fourth.
And I can report that it was Mark Rondeau who wanted to turn his car into a Mars rover and went off into space. So that was the car you saw flying out of the back of your screen.
Lethierry spun it, so he is suddenly off course and facing the wrong way. Ost continues to lead, but my goodness, the rest of the field is all packed together, and they had another big wreck coming through. There you see just a glance of it with guys like Shulem, Naranjo, and Fulton once again involved in that one. This is absolutely bonkers.
And I have to say, BJ Fulton somehow threaded the needle through all of that and was able to get a clean car past. Absolutely incredible. There you see right in front of him, that is Jeffrey Shulem, who started in the back of the field and hung back, deliberately let all of the craziness happen in front of him. But here comes one of those big jumps. You've got to get that exactly right, and Fulton does.
My goodness, they are going at a high rate of knots. Next time they come around, I'd love to see the speedometer on the cars to see what kind of pace they're able to keep up. And you can see all is fair game. They do not have to worry about cut course penalties, nor do they have to worry about going off track, as these cars can handle the grass and the dirt quite well. We ride on board with Michael Johnson, who is chasing BJ Fulton.
And there you see both of them just going off onto the kitty litter, going off onto the mud, trying to find absolutely anything they can. That is Naranjo ahead of them. That's Shulem behind, getting into the wall, hurting him a little bit, cutting through that first chicane on the back section of the track, and a little bit of air over the jumps coming out of climb through, but here they go down into this corner. Multiple lines you can take there. It's really kind of fascinating, Joe, to be able to think about if you want to go out or you want to go in.
My goodness, all the way up to the wall and then flying over that crest, braking hard down here into Boulderberg. You can see they can cut to the inside there, and look at that over-under. Fantastic move by Johnson to get the better momentum. What does the speed of these cars look like coming up over this jump? Oh, didn't quite catch it this time. Oh, it was about, almost looked like 130 as they were flying through the air.
That's about what I read, but I think there was a little glitch on the iRacing timing and scoring because I had 210 fly across the screen. So something about the wheels spinning there not working right.
I think that'd be the case. Michael Ost is still our leader, up at the top by about 4 seconds over Matthew Hollander, leading. Certainly seems like it's more a case of who can keep out of all the chaos of cars banging into each other more than anything.
Yeah, I certainly think that's what it is, and I draw attention again just bringing up Jeffrey Shulem, who did that exactly well, was able to get up to, I think, 4th or 5th on that opening lap, and then has fallen back as he got caught into a little bit of action as well. But we're going to jump back here to Fulton.
Fulton leading the battle with Adam Fulton, rather. As I was looking at BJ, forgot we had 2 Fultons. This is the fight with Naranjo for 4th, and into the wall goes Adam. So he is going to find himself losing that spot. They're also being gained upon by AJ Lethierry behind.
But Lethierry, I have to say, made the exact same mistake that Adam Fulton did, just going full on into that wall, and there he goes again, right off saying hello to the tire barriers. Now, I'm trying to see if anybody has taken a drink yet. I do see 2 from Rondeau, if I'm seeing correctly. So Rondeau, who has actually been in the pits, and I think, did he get turned on his lid? That's the only reason I could think that they'd have to take a pit stop unexpectedly. Yeah, Joe, he was the one that got skyrocketed into space, so I think Rondeau taking advantage of that little predicament to get 2 drinks out of his way nice and early. So he's down in 12th as he lost a lot of time. In fact, he's a lap down from the leaders. But getting those drinks up on the others may have helped him. Jumping back to Adam Fulton once again. His brother BJ seems to have had a connection issue and has been missing in the sim for
quite a while at this point, so it's down to Adam to carry the name. Whoa, up and over a lot of bumps and a little too hard through the Villeneuve chicane. Now, is Aaron Edwards taking a sip at this point? Yeah, it looks like he did, as he stopped for a little while.
Yeah, Joey didn't indicate it in the chat, but looking at that, he looks like he was off into the kitty litter, hit the wall a little bit, and just decided to go ahead and take those drinks there. So there he comes. A little bit of a different line there through those final corners. Oh, very close to the wall over the jump.
Threading the needle. He might have this one down to a science. Let's see what he's like through here. Yeah, he does. Holy cow. Edwards is absolutely flying, chucking the car through every single corner and using the pavement where he can. Let's see what he's like through Boulderberg. Is it actually, he seems to think it's quicker on the pavement, but he goes slightly off course.
Yeah, Joe, he's really making this car look like an absolute rallycross car. When you saw him come through Temerlin, you saw that he was literally flying through the air sideways, and he is now going to come into the pits after making a brief foray into the wall there. But he's going to come on into the pits here, get that fuel that he needs, maybe take a drink or two more.
All right. In the meantime, Johnson has been giving us a lot of fun. Oh, and he took a toe for some reason. I wonder if he got stuck. Yeah, I think he gets stuck in the wall here. There he goes. Glitches into it. Oh, goodness. Now, we're getting information that pit stop strategy becomes available after 2 laps here. So if they want to work backwards, they can. They're already able to do it and still make the same amount of stops as we watch Adam Fulton just overtaken by Clifton Naranjo up into 3rd, down through Erst. And it looks like, a poor exit for Clifton, and he's going to get a big shove from behind as Fulton sends him off track.
But good job there from Naranjo to sort of catch the car back from under him and keep going down that path. So that's really good there from him. That is some lap traffic just up ahead of the road. That's not what they are getting by there, so that's not driver on track.
Now, this is for 3rd place, but they're a whole 30-some-odd seconds behind the top 2 right now. Ost and Hollander have been keeping it so clean that everybody has essentially been left in the dust. Oh, big dive to the inside. Can he get the car woed up in time? Fantastic move there by Naranjo to scream by in the Villeneuve chicane out of Turleman. Fulton's going to try to get him back. I don't think he's got the pace, though.
He may try a little bit of a handbrake turn here to get that car around. Oh, almost to a complete stop comes Naranjo. A little shove from behind from Fulton. It's going to be another drag race down. There comes contact again.
Fulton gets turned around, and he just keeps going. Catches it nicely, but Naranjo is the one that comes out ahead. It's Manuel Hernandez who took 4th away from Adam. And then Ron he's a ways back. I guess that's a lapped car in front of him currently. Yeah, that's Mark Rondeau. Now, PJ Fulton has come back to the pit. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say AJ Lettieri got very friendly with the wall in front of him, as did Ron. They both made a dive down the pits as well. Lettieri lost a bunch of time, almost coming to a full head into the attenuator.
Now, here's an interesting thing. Since they are clearing all black flags, I'm pretty certain that Ron in the number 10 was speeding in pit lane. I wonder if the black flags are cleared there too, and he just kind of figured out, here's an advantage I can gain.
I think that is an advantage you can take. There's Ost doing it as well. It looks like that looks very fast down pit lane as well.
There you go. Yeah, I'm almost absolutely certain Ron was speeding. He got up to about 80 or 90 before he went past the cones. So, all right. Tricky and clever there from our number 10. And that's another thing you can do, I suppose, is that would be an unsafe pit exit normally. But was that Hernandez we just saw coming out there? No, that was Sorry, I missed who that was.
I think it was, I'm not sure who it was exactly.
That was Lethierry, I think.
That's it. But now we have Naranjo, Hernandez, Fulton getting very chippy coming to the line as well. Lots of guys coming in there. That's Adam.
He's blocking it. He's blocked the pit lane. And he's just going to roll him over. Just turn him over like he's on a spit. My goodness.
Oh, he got back up. He's on his tires.
I'm pretty certain some of these drivers have been free gaming. Just a guess.
It may be a guess, but I think it's a fair assessment. No, just keep it in reverse. Just get it in reverse, Adam. You got it, buddy. I believe in you. Come on. There we go. No.
He almost drove onto the podium for a second.
Not yet, Adam. Not yet. There. Wait. There
we go. All right. And back on course. Adam Fulton lost a lot from that one. Sent him way down the order. Michael Ost is now our new leader after that first set of pit stops. 3 seconds quicker was Hollander, but I get the feeling that Ost must have sussed out that trick in the pit lane with speeding.
I think that is a pretty fair assessment there, Joe. And he, once again, has a big gap, as does Hollander, still keeping about that 30-second gap all the way up to, now it's up to 50 seconds, excuse me, back to Naranjo. So these leaders really pulling away here.
It's going to be hard to overcome that for sure. I'm not sure the drivers are going to mind too much. I think they're having too much fun out there to worry about who's going to win this race. And it was indeed Ost that we were looking at earlier that took that quick exit out of pit lane. And was not Shulam that we saw as the number 73 with an 11-second lead over the number 69. They'll get plenty more pit stops throughout this race. If they were watching their rivals do it, let's see if they were paying attention close enough to be able to imitate that.
Well, I know I certainly would be, but here comes Michael coming up behind some lap traffic, so that's going to be something important to keep in mind. We've seen time and time again that a little bit of a spinning car in front of you can throw you offline, so Michael's going to have to try to dispatch with these guys as quick as possible.
As they work their way around, not even halfway through this race yet. We've only got 4 cars on the lead lap, by the way, and that's about to be 3 because Ost is currently behind Lethierry. That's Lethierry that you see right there in the number 4, who's going to drift it down and through Bianchi. As they try to come back to the racing line, oh, they're going to come together. This is the chance that Hollander needed. It slows up Michael Ost. He gets it moving, but it looks like Hollander's too far back.
He's too far back, but that's exactly what I was talking about, Joe. With as unpredictable as these cars are, anything like that can happen, and it will happen. But when all is said and done, the gap now down to about 7.8 seconds. So Hollander needs a couple more mistakes like that, and he may be close.
Watch from Hollander's perspective. Now, it looked to me like Ost was doing very little drifting, and I kind of wondered about that. Because, I mean, when they're on the pavement, my thought would be that trying not to drift the car would be the quickest way. But it looks like Hollander's not taking that theory, at least through there. Try and watch him when he gets to a more pavement-heavy section.
Yeah, it really looks like going through Goldenberg there. That is one of the corners that you want to pop the handbrake, let the car drift around. It almost looks like you're coming to a complete stop. You try to get the tires rotated to get that grip bite point. But other than that, it seems like the fastest way is to go straight, as this is Hollander and Johnson. Johnson a lap down, but it'd be a little chippy here with our second place driver.
Oh, and he's going to try and slide through. Johnson causing a bit of a headache getting into the side of Hollander. He'll head off track. Hollander also taking a nice smooth line, not trying to drift it too much. Behind him, drifting completely off course, was Marc Rondeau, who's also a lap down, but he is in a fight for position with Johnson there. That is for 8th.
Well, and you saw there Hollander able to escape the same fate at the same corner as our leader Michael Ost did, but Johnson not letting this fight go, having a good time here. There's the multiple lines through the chicane. You can see good run from Rondeau, gained a lot of time.
All right, so down around into Boulderberg one more time. When are we going to get our next set of stops? Look at all three very different lines through there. It really is kind of like Rallycross out here.
It certainly is. It's just sort of throw a line up into the air and take it. That's Johnson leading. That's going to be wide. Oh, a big hit off the wall. Almost catches Hollander and Rondeau out. But Johnson's going to be able to keep all four wheels on the black stuff and keep going. But Rondeau, because of that checkup, now going to be able to make a little bit of a challenge to Hollander here. Once again, just a reminder that that is not for position.
Yeah, but down the line, could that play into effect if they start to even out, or the drivers ahead have problems? Rondeau will want as much an advantage as he can get. Drivers now no closer than 4 seconds apart, it appears, from each other. They've all very much spread away. We're hitting that halfway mark soon. Matthew now about 14 seconds behind Michael Oates.
All that battle really catching him out, but there you see just trying to find the areas where this car can grip down. Utterly unique driving style that you really need to have in this. You need to be able to drive well on pavement and dirt. You need a car that can handle well on both. It is utterly fascinating. Wow, big handbrake there, and gets it wound up and keeps going.
But he's off and onto the grass. How quick is this going to make him? Will either of them elect to come into pit lane this time? Rondeau's not, but Hollander is. Got him. Oh no, and he's stuck. Oh no! And that's exactly. Oh, he got it.
He got it.
He's safe, but that's still costly to his time.
It certainly is. I was about to talk about the advantages of taking a quick pit stop, but there you go. He's got the secret.
Yep, he figured it out. He's not going slow in pit lane anymore. Now, what's his exit going to look like, though? There you go. He is going to take tires. That looks like the call of the day for most of the drivers. Curious to see if he takes that early little slip-out road, or if he's going to head out the proper pit lane exit here. Nope, he's going to take the early exit. There goes Hollander.
Brilliant.
He is a sharp cookie.
Absolutely brilliant from Matt Hollander, learning from those around him and taking that exit road.
In the meantime, we're taking a look at Ron in the number 10. Has a nice fight with Manuel Hernandez. This is for 5th.
Yeah, Hernandez really trying to put some pressure onto Ron here. Ron looking a little squirrely there, coming around the corner. Little love tap with the wall, but he's going to be able to keep it going. He's going to go very wide there. Gets it back under him, but here comes Hernandez. He's got the momentum. He's into the inside.
See, I think that's the trade-off. You can get sideways in the grass and take some cuts, but there's not as much grip out there, and he could not accelerate quickly. Hernandez is going to get 5th, and he takes off down the road. Now, will either of them come down pit lane? Hernandez does not, and Ron does.
So here he goes. There you see a very deliberate slowdown at the first chicane coming into pit lane. I think he knows that's a very easy place to get caught out. One more little chicane and then back on to full power. He too getting that same advice there. There you see Fulton. That's Lettieri up on the jacks as well.
Okay, is Lettieri coming out the proper way or the quick way, the shortcut way? This is Ron as well. Lettieri is slow out of the box, and he has to actually wait because BJ Fulton comes out in front of him, but they both take the quick way out.
So there you go on that, and then... Oh, did Ron miss his pit box?
Or maybe he forgot to check tires or something. That is highly unusual. This is a long stop. Now our leader is in, Michael Ost, looking for the stall with the number 73. Boy, they coming in that hot. They really got to be on the ball and hit their marks. He goes up on the jacks in the meantime.
Shades of IndyCar back in the day at Indianapolis Motor Speedway when they would just tear down pit lane with 87 crew members out over the wall. Kind of a fun throwback to see there. There you see Michael. Tires have been changed, just waiting on the last little bit of fuel to get put in the car. There he goes. Little bit of a harder angle for him in that front stall to take the short way out of the pit lane.
It really is. A couple drivers didn't take it. Aaron Edwards hasn't figured that out yet, as he went out the normal pit lane exit. Of course, Aaron is currently last on the field of 12. Michael Ost is still our leader ahead of Matthew Hollander. I think that moment of getting stuck cost Matt quite a bit because it is now up to 20 seconds.
Yeah, it really, really did. But here comes Michael Ost now coming up behind Aaron Edwards, as well as a couple more lap cars. We've seen drivers struggle with this before, so it's always tough.
Closest fight we've got right now is for 8th position. Johnson ahead of Mark Rondeau.
And that's Ost spinning.
That's our leader. Losing a ton of time now. Got tangled up with Edwards. Where is... Oh, man, Hollander is so far back. Again, despite a problem for the 73, he's going to retain the lead. What does this take the gap down to? Still waiting on Hollander to go through that portion of the track to give us an accurate reading. It is going to be cut down to what appears to be 12 seconds.
All right, so that's a little bit of striking range for Hollander, but Clifton Morano also coming into the pits as we stay on Ost here, just watching him take this corner. Now that 12 seconds may seem like a massive, massive amount, and it is big, but you have seen just what can happen in this kind of racing.
So something happened to Schulem here. This was... I think this was coming over Butte. Yeah, he's gonna have a massive flip with the wall. And actually has as soon as he wrecks here, go on board with Adam Fulton, who gets an eyeful. Here's where it happens, up and over that big crest. Just loses control and then flips out. Fulton completely blind through there. There's a car.
I think Adam may need a change of pants when he changes his tires next after that one.
Well, he's got a chance to do that right now because he is in pit lane. As he comes down, and yeah, he couldn't quite see where it was. I've seen a number of drivers actually have to back up or do some strange things to get to their stall.
I'm not sure exactly what it is, Joe. And the way that the iRacing service runs is that you do see a lollipop man. You will see your own pit crew out there, but you will not see other drivers. So I'm not sure why it's so difficult. May just be some of the style of Zolder or the fact that these cars are not really used to having to take pit stops.
Fulton in, and Michael Johnson, who again is a DD today, is going to take more service. More pit stop than everybody else around him. That is Rondeau also taking service. Manuel Hernandez is in. All right, and it looks like both Fulton and Johnson are off.
They are indeed looking like that is going to be interesting. Fulton taking a minute to get fully up to speed there, but he has got his rivals ahead of him, so he's certainly going to have his eyes on the prize.
Down to 16 minutes left to go. I think one more pit stop will do everyone and get them to the finish after this set. Ost is our leader, still with a 14-second lead. He's been pulling away from Hollander since we last looked, and he gave up some time. Oh, they have a caution? I think somebody's finger slipped.
Uh-oh.
Where is the pace car? Pace car is coming out now, actually. I don't remember hearing about a competition caution today.
Well, Joe, this is certainly going to change everything here.
It will. I suspect the case is that you combine beer and everybody trying to manually clear black flags, that somebody pressed the wrong button. 15 minutes. We should have enough time to get back green.
We should. That's Matthew Hollander pulling up behind the pace car right now. So it looks like they're going to have to try to neutralize the field the best they can following that.
The good news is this will close everybody up. The bad news is there's only 2 cars on the lead lap right now. So I wonder if they'll do any wave bys to let them through and even things up.
My only concern, Joe, with the wave around would be the fact that, well, there we've got one going around right now. I was going to say, depending on when they throw that wave around, it could really throw some things off.
Well, okay, alternate point. Everybody's allowed to clear black flags. They don't need a wave around. They can go past and clear their black flag.
That's a good point.
It is the game-breaking mechanic of all game-breaking mechanics. It really doesn't matter what the rules are, essentially. Just you can clear it away regardless. This is the racing version of Calvin Ball, DJ.
I love that, and very much used to play that back in the day.
Yeah. Okay, so how many others are gonna? Looks like Lettieri. Oh no, he's still trying to catch up, so he hasn't gone through. Oh, now they're wrecking on the way towards the pits.
And Joe, those were our leaders. That was Ost and Hollander, I think.
Yeah, unfortunately, that tripped up one of our drivers who's down a few laps. That's BJ Fulton, but it helps those in front of him to gain a little bit of time here. I think lights are going to stay on as they cross the line. Yep. So we'll have 2 more laps around behind the pace car, and then we should get going back to racing. Unfortunately, this is one thing that the black flag remedy does not fix, because once the yellow is thrown, it can't be reversed. They can't bring that pace car back in.
Exactly. There is absolutely no reversion, and you have to let it run its course. It's not like you can say, well, all right, we're going to bring it in now and do that kind of thing. So hopefully what this will do is we'll have a couple of minutes of tedium here while everybody catches back up. There you see, I think that's Lettieri going by and just absolutely booking it around the outside of the pace car trying to catch back up. We will get Naranjo and Lettieri there back onto the lead lap, get everything established, and we should have time for, I think, a probably 2 to 3 lap shootout.
I think you're right. I wonder what this is going to do for the pit stops, though. Remember, they still have to take those drinks. I wonder if it will shorten it or just remove it completely. Running backwards down the tracks is Aaron Edwards, doing a little bit of trick driving while he's got some time.
I mean, if you can pull it off, why not do it? More power to Aaron there. That is lining up behind him. It looks like Ron and BJ Fulton coming into frame. Both of those drivers still a lap down, so I think they'll probably get the sign to go on by here to get their laps back.
It hasn't yet, though. Ron is still waiting patiently. Not sure how much they're listening to one another and letting each other know that they can go by if they want to. And once again, some more fun. That was Edwards and Adam Fulton. There goes Ron.
Yep, there. It looks like Ron got that memo, so he's going to go get his lap back. Now we're just waiting on Terry, who I don't see on screen right now, so I'm not sure where he went.
He's coming around Bianchi right now. He's still trying to catch up to the tail of the train. He's just about there. Is Fulton? Adam Fulton has just caught it. He should be waved by, I would assume. We got him, Hernandez, Johnson, and Rondeau 1 lap down. So it would be worth it for them to try and get back onto the lead lap. Everybody else, BJ Fulton, Aaron Edwards, and Jeffrey Schulem are multiple laps down, so they really won't have time to try and catch their way back up.
And Joe right there talking about the unsafe pit exit. Let's talk about an unsafe pit entry. Matthew Hollander dove down pit lane. Matthew Ost did not. And as Ost was coming around the last part of Klein Corner, I think he realized that his rival went down pit lane. He cut across the gravel trap and said, no, you know what? I want to go down there too.
And they actually cut right in front of Michael Johnson, who was at full tilt trying to catch up to the leaders. Looks like Rondeau and Hernandez have gone by, Adam Fulton as well. But Ron has had a problem. The number 10 has fallen back a lap down once again. Now he's going by. I'll have to do it all over again.
Right, so he'll have to really get on it, taking it uncharacteristically slow there through that corner, though. Not sure what he's doing exactly here.
I wonder if he's... No, okay, there he goes. I wasn't sure if maybe he's just trying to hang with the leaders and hold them up on the restart or something. Ost is caught up. Thierry's just about there. Johnson still has about half a lap. Not sure if he's going to reach them in time as they work their way behind the pace car. Actually, Johnson coming into the pits to take his final stop. Now, this actually might be a very smart decision here from Johnson. This should take him to the finish.
That was my thought exactly. And when Ost stayed out there, I thought that Hollander may have had him. But so it looks like now that Hollander and Ost have both taken their stops. Lettieri has. Adam Fulton has not. Neither has Clifton Naranjo. Now, Clifton's currently scored in second. He is splitting our traditional leaders here of Hollander and Ost.
Okay. This changes up the complexion of things. Let's see if our other few cars are able to reach them. Johnson is moving now. Hernandez is as well as Rondeau. Adam Fulton. Yeah, I think Adam Fulton is the last one that is going to get up to the tail of the train before we get going green. Everybody else is going to be at a severe disadvantage, unfortunately, on the restart. And AJ Lettieri, oh, he's pitting. Okay, I was going to say, is he going to clear his black flag once he goes ahead of the pace car? Which, you know, was another thought I had, DJ. I mean, if they were smart, they could just go by the pace car and clear their black flag and act like the caution doesn't even happen, which the green flag waves now.
Does it?
Now it's green, I think. Here we go. Okay, now it is a green flag. They just took off so early. As finally the sim figures out what's going on, almost off into the barriers for Clifton Naranjo, who's fallen back to third. This is Hollander dealing with Michael Ost behind him, gives him a little love tap down through the Kleine chicane. All of them through cleanly and getting some air this time over Butte.
They certainly are, and here comes Naranjo taking a more straight line through the back of that. He's got around Ost, it looks like, as Ost went a little bit wide, but Ost is going to try to come back with a bit of an over-under here. Good defensive move there from Naranjo. Let the tail end slide out ever so slightly, trying to block off Ost's momentum. Here they come breaking down into Boulderberg. That's a tricky point. Ost very sideways.
This is giving Hollander the advantage he needs as he streaks away. It's a drag race. Are we going to get side-by-side airtime here coming through the chicane? No. It looks like Ost not quite brave enough. Oh, but a little too hot into the corner. Ost wound up being the smart one, but he gets caught up anyways, as both he and Naranjo with a big wreck on the front stretch. They are so far ahead that the next one down, Mark Rondeau, just coming out of Boulderberg, cannot take advantage of it.
And you see both drivers really struggling to get that reverse gear selected and get back underway, but there Michael Ost does get that off first. So now what was a 20-second advantage to Michael Ost is swung back all the way, but Rondeau is having a problem as well.
He's tried to enter the pits and unfortunately not learned what a lot of others did, which is you can't come in too hot into there. And in fact, is he following the pit lane speed? I think he is. Yep, he's following. Poor guy.
Mark, it's okay, man. You can cheat. It's fine.
So up at the front, Hollander, because of everybody battling behind him, are now 16 seconds back from the number 69. In fact, Ost just had another spin, I think, and he's lost more time. Johnson gaining a lot from those two squabbling with one another. He's past Hernandez. He's up to third.
He is, and that's Manuel right behind him in that white car. So Johnson looking to have a good little run here. He still has about a 24-second gap up the road to Michael Ost, but if he continues to drive well here, he is sitting in a podium position.
Johnson has 41 seconds if he wants to catch Hollander. We've seen stranger things in this series. You just never know. Watch from Hernandez's perspective coming around Holderberg. Oh, he goes a little hot in there.
It's going to cost him a lot of time. Very close with the wall there. Has to navigate around Fulton.
Not typically the angle that you see the paint schemes of the other cars. That was Adam Fulton. And Hernandez is keeping Johnson honest here. Ost, in the meantime, is having to take his final pit stop. He should have pitted during that caution. Oh, no. Oh, you know what? I wonder if Ost is a designated driver, and that's why we saw him just go through pit lane there.
That may be it. That'll be a question that we'll have to ask in the race, as that was very, very strange, almost reminiscent of a Joker lap.
I mean, effectively, that's what it is in this case, because you don't have to slow down. So, yeah, that was absolutely bizarre. Okay. Lethierry, who we were watching on screen for a moment, actually no, who we've got on screen right now, the number 4 being chased by Ost, who just took his so-called Joker lap. He comes around through tournament. He's got about 2 seconds to make up to the number 4.
When we've seen the outright pace that Michael Johnson had, or excuse me, that Michael Ost has had, so don't think it's out of the question for him to try to catch here. A little bit of a different line there from Lethierry coming around through those corners. Now they line up for this final chicane, the Jackie Ick chicane. There he goes, bumping up and over. Both cars beat him.
Here's a question for you, though, now that I'm thinking about it. iRacing tends to determine the white flag and the checkered flag based on the car's pace. But has anybody out here actually done a clean lap at all during this race for iRacing to base that off? And how is it going to determine when to end this thing?
Your guess is as good as mine, Joe, but there goes Michael Ost around Lethierry. Makes the move stick. Now they're going to try to keep it all gathered up. Lethierry trying to put a good fight back, but Ost has the position. Nicely done.
He sets his sight up to Johnson by 7.5 seconds. Oh, that was Schulem facing the wrong way. They nearly ran into. This is our second place runner, Michael Johnson, a whole 45 seconds behind Hollander. He's got a little bit of clearing back to Ost, but he cannot afford to trip over himself.
No, he cannot, and they cannot afford to get slowed down by any cars in front of him. You saw Ron E there, one of the many cars that seemed to be having the rash or facing the wrong way at this point in the race. So he was able to get around that. Oh, big smack in the back.
Well, that unfortunately will cost Clifton Naranjo. And who do we have? Is this Rondeau? Yep, that was Mark Rondeau in the number 1, who was off track in the Villeneuve chicane. I think it should be white flag, theoretically, for Matthew Hollander here. But he's slowing up. He can afford to do this. He's got such a huge lead right now. He's trying to actually take the course. This is interesting. What is he doing exactly? Oh, we're getting the checkered flag from our timing and scoring, and he's going to get hit from behind. Mark Rondeau runs into him. That's not for position. Hollander able to continue. We're seeing... I've still got time left on my counter. Our timing and scoring disagrees with us. I'm honestly not sure what's going on right now.
I'm not either, Joe. I'm looking here on like a chameleon trying to see on different screens what it is.
I can't tell if this is Hollander hot dogging We're thinking that the race is finished. Yes, it looks to be the case. We have cars stopped, so it looks like we weren't aware, but Matthew Hollander is our winner here today. Johnson followed him home, and Ost is going to round out the podium. We only had 4 cars on the lead lap today, as Naranjo is going to finish in style on his lid. Hernandez, I thought he was going to turn him over. Is anybody going to help him finish? Actually, he's not across the line yet.
Oh, no. Come on. All right, come on, BJ. You can. Oh, no. BJ
he's going to get stuck, too.
Oh.
Nobody gets him. Is there? Shulem is up next and is the only one. Is he out of fuel?
I think he is, Joe. Looking. Yeah, he only took 2 stops. He's out of fuel.
He's trying to send into the pits, so nobody can come to the rescue of poor Clifton Naranjo, and he won't get to see the checkered flag officially. I think that's going to be a very fitting way to send us to break as we quickly head off, and don't go away because we'll have the unofficial results as well as driver interviews coming up. Welcome back to Zolder. The March round of 4 Drink Friday probably gave us more giggles than we've had any race so far in this series. And Matthew Hollander wound up taking the win, coasting to the line. We weren't even aware it was the finish. We had so much fun. Michael Johnson followed him home, our first designated driver to finish. He took second, with Michael Ost rounding out the podium. Then the last car on the lead lap was AJ Lettieri in fourth. Mark Rondeau was P5. And the first half of the field is closed up with Manuel Hernandez.
Behind him was Ronnie, followed by Clifton Naranjo. Adam Fulton able to come home in ninth, just ahead of the other Fulton, BJ Fulton, back in 10th. And then to round out the back of the field was Jeffrey Shulem and Aaron Edwards.
Let's talk to our winner here today, Matthew Hollander, who took victory over the others by mostly staying out of trouble, but I don't think anybody stayed out of trouble here. Matt, congratulations. Was it as much of a hoot down there as it was up here in the booth?
It was interesting, to say the least. It was interesting. Had a really good start and tried to, fend off getting hit at the beginning, but Ost was able to pull away and just kind of lost him going through the race. But that yellow flag couldn't have came sooner. We had talked about it before the race, about doing a halfway through yellow flag, and we let Ost, we did a coin flip. So John Momar wasn't actually racing tonight, but he was in race control. So he did a coin flip, and Ost got to pick the coin, and he lost the coin flip. So we gridded everyone back up and went for it.
Well, it made it very interesting, especially seeing drivers come through and try to catch up to the tail of the field. Tell us, when did it occur to you about the trick in the pit lane? We noticed everybody taking liberties in there.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, this was going to be a free-for-all Rallycross, do what you want. Black flags are going to be cleared. So at the end of the day, anything went. So black flags in the pits, speeding doesn't matter. And we kind of told everyone that from the get-go. So that early pit exit, I think, helped quite a bit as well. So, yeah.
Certainly looked like so much fun. And again, congratulations. Anybody you want to thank for this victory?
Well, of course, I want to thank the Porsche Owners Club for bringing all the drivers to us, and all the guys for continuing to show up and make this thing a thing, and of course, you guys for continuing to broadcast it. Really appreciate it.
Was Matt Hollander, our winner here today, and then another birthday boy here coming our way as DJ is talking to Michael Johnson.
Michael, first and foremost, I got to ask how much fun that was out there, my friend.
Well, given the week I've had, I'll just say I live in Austin, Texas. That should explain a whole lot. So given the week I've had, this is the highlight of my week.
Well, I guess then my second question is, are you, your family, everybody you know okay? I know it's bananas down there.
Oh, yeah, it's been nuts. We finally got power back last night. It was really odd, like having pots of water boiling on the stove, have a gas stove, and use that to kind of try to heat the house, and then got a fireplace that's not really designed to heat because it's Texas. We don't really need it. Turns out every once in a while we do. So we were doing that, got the heat up to about 60 degrees in the house. And tried to sleep with that. So, but yeah, everybody's happy, healthy. All the food's good. We've been eating a lot of food we didn't know we still had.
I feel that was my beginning of quarantine. Well, on to the on-track escapades of tonight. So it looked like, I mean, just an absolute blast. And I guess from a sort of technical standpoint, a couple of guys looked like they were having a little more success, doing the traditional rally car lines through there. A couple other guys doing the on pavement stuff. What were you finding the most successful?
It was a little bit of a hybrid. There was a lot of area where you could get a good run on the pavement, especially when you had good tires, like right at the beginning. Like if you went in, you got new tires, like every second or third pit stop. Then you had good tires. It was great to stay on the pavement, like around turn 4, right before Kleine Chicane. So as you're running up there, that it was better to stay on. But as the tires went away, you may have seen a couple of times I just went wide into the grass, let the car hang out, kick the brake around, and let the car rotate, and then just hammered it and went straight down the straightaway. And that worked when the tires started to fall off.
Gotcha. Well, we saw some suggestions in the chat tonight saying the next one that people wanted to see was LMP1s at Eldora, which I'm all about. Do you have any suggestions of craziness to throw at this series?
Oh, well, this is one thing I wanted to do right here was the rally cars, but I think it'd be fun to get into the LMP ones. That would be a lot of fun, and just kind of put them in automatic mode, so we're not having to worry about which buttons to press to get the battery power going or whatever, because they're difficult to drive. I mean, they will really tax your brain. And when you do what I did, which is start out as a DD and then go, you know what, that lap wasn't exactly as I planned, I'm switching modes, and I turned into a non-DD at the end there, or actually about, I think, lap 3, lap 4. I'd have to look back in the chat to see where I did it. But once you get a couple of beers in, remembering which buttons to press to get battery power and to move your diff around, forget it. We just have to put them in automatic. So I'd say do that. Like let's do a 4-drink Friday LMP1 at Le Mans. That would be fun.
I'm all about that as well. I love
what's not to like about 230 miles an hour completely hammered?
I see nothing wrong with it. Michael,
as long as it's in the virtual world, we're good.
Exactly. There's the disclaimer. We're good with the lawyers now. Awesome. Anybody you need to thank before we let you go tonight?
Well, thanks to Matt for putting this together. He's also a birthday boy. He just had a birthday the other day, and mine's tomorrow. So the birthday boy is at the top of the podium here. And, of course, thanking you guys for putting this on and for putting up with our debauchery. And whoever it is who has their button really close to the mute button when one of us comes through and forgets that this is being streamed and is able to cut out the inappropriate words.
Well, I'd have to point to our director, Sean Ambrose, on that one and give him kudos. But Michael, congratulations again, and I hope you have a better week next week.
I hope so too. Here's beer number 5.
That was second place finisher Michael Johnson. The other Michael Ost, finished in third today, but had an extra stop in there. So we were trying to figure out, Michael, were you a DD today?
No, I was not. And actually, I didn't have an extra stop. I actually stopped just as many times as Hollander did.
Interesting. We thought we saw you go through like a drive-through or something at one point. We couldn't quite figure out what was going on there.
That's because I got punted. I got spun down the front straight, and somebody punted me over the pit wall. So I was just trying to get back on the track. I was just doing my best to get back on the track.
There was so much zaniness going on that we actually didn't even catch that bit. That is wild.
You guys kind of love the format, right?
Oh, we were saying this is probably our favorite combination we've seen yet in any of the 4 Drink Friday races. What's your assessment? Is this at the top of the list for you now?
Oh yeah, we came up with this concept and we decided, let's have a no holds barred, just full on race, no penalties, no anything. Just the only thing you got to do is you can't drink and drive, and the only thing that contained us was the walls.
Some cases it didn't, unfortunately.
In some cases, apparently, it doesn't work for me. Apparently, I just go over them.
Well, great stuff. Third place here, then. I mean, what do you consider the secret to finishing up front here in this just ridiculous race?
I'll tell you, I had that race under control. I qualified. I was on my way. I was 30 seconds ahead of everybody. I was just controlling the gap. And then we decided we flip a quarter to see if we would friggin' throw a yellow flag, and I lost. I called heads, it was tails, and that was it. I knew as soon as everybody got back on the lead lap, there'd be a cluster of people and it'd just go crazy again. So that was it. It happened. And by then, the beers were kicking in, and it wasn't so easy.
Lady Luck just not on your side. Well, again, still congratulations on a podium, and we hope to see you again next month.
Oh yeah, absolutely, guys. It was a blast, and thanks for televising such a crazy thing.
That was Michael O's third there today, and that's going to wrap up our interviews. But before we take off, we have some sponsors to thank here. Of course, starting with Sunset Mortgage. Don't put your money in the bank, be the bank. Check them out today at sunsetcash.net. And Octavio Tequila. Celebrate now. For a great tasting tequila, go to octaviotequila.com and purchase today. And finally, Century Financial Consultants, making the rest of your life the best of your life. You can check out their website at centuryretire.com. Thanks to the companies that provide the software and the hardware for our broadcasts. We've listed them on your screen, along with June Lalonde, who provides our wonderful music. Her Bandcamp is there at the bottom if you want to see more of her work. Thanks to the team today, Sean, DJ, and Dougie. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, including upcoming races, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com, or check out our social media, which includes Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_Graham. If you'd like to support us, check out our merchandise store at gsrc.storenvy.com. We can keep a link in the description below. And while you're down there, make sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss a moment here on GSRC. The next 4 Drink Friday will be in a month's time. That'll be March 26th at 9:45 p.m. Eastern. But we have upcoming races for other series listed on the screen, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. Until next time, race clean, race hard. We'll see you on the track.